Happy Monday, everyone. Hope you had a good weekend, and I hope you got to catch, the racing action that finally started. I did the show on Friday, for the start of the Supercross season. I completely forgot, so I apologize to someone that'll never hear this being, you know, the General Tire ArenaCross Outlaws series, which I completely forgot. Always kicks off the same time. You just don't get the fanfare. And, they don't have the social media and everything else that Supercross has. So, you know, it's harder to notice that they're there and see them. But very exciting, very good racing, in my opinion. My opinion doesn't really matter, but I don't give a. You guys can fill in that blank right there, all on your own. We'll go with fig. I don't give a fig. But good racing, and please, if you haven't listened to the one from Friday, gave my thoughts going into the Supercross weekend. Please listen to that. Anchor, Apple, Google Podcast, Spotify, everywhere. Get it, listen to it, share it out, and do the same thing on this one. Share it out. Get those numbers like they were so big before, and I'd like to see them start going back that way. And it only takes a few seconds, but getting into it, those guys on the screen, if you're watching this, the General Tire ArenaCross Outlaws Series, race number 1 of 15 from the Stormont Vale Event Center in Topeka, Kansas. That was a mouthful. Taking over from me on the Hoosier ArenaCross. And I could say there were some big changes that I noticed right out of the bat. And that was just simply production quality was through the roof from last season. Like you could literally go back, watch the same race, same place. And it's indoor, but same thing last year compared to this year. Just the same race, everything to make the fairest of comparisons you could have. And it was through the roof. Like 1,000 times, better, really, really good, like crisp, clean. The sound quality was better. So whatever they did, between, General Tire, ArenaCross Outlaws, FS1, Fox Sports, whatever they worked out, to upgrade to do everything, that was really good. And that's a good way to start when you're getting back on after a while. If you saw it last year, you go, this looks cheap. You turn it on this year, you went, man, that looks like $1 million. So, little things like that and getting, help from the TV guys makes a big difference. So that was really good. So again, shout out to everyone involved, no matter who it was, whether it's Fox Sports as a whole, FS1, General Tire, ArenaCross Outlaws themselves, really good stuff. And the track was, even tighter than I remembered from last year when I watched it. So, yeah. And again, like if you haven't seen it, it's some tight quarters for those guys in Topeka. And it was really, really slick this year as well. But a lot of great racing. And the sad thing, is for it, the really worst thing is just how quick they go by. Because there's, short tracks inside these buildings, nowhere near Supercross lengths. And then on top of it, it's just a whole just little buildings, smaller series, which is really on top of it. They just don't have the money going in. So the races aren't as long. They're not selling out these big places, but they put on very entertaining racing. I imagine if you're there, that's a hell of a day's worth of racing. So again, they ever come anywhere near you, I mean, I'm sure it's not that much money. Yeah, check it out. Really good stuff, but it gives you a lot of tight, close, tough racing where you're braking and accelerate, like where all of that makes such a big difference just because they're doing 90 degrees and sliding. And I think that makes for fantastic racing personally. But getting into a 250 Pro Heat 1, these were 9 laps in Pro Heats. We had Michael Hicks finish first, coming off back-to-back championships, new team, new, bike manufacturer, all that. So see how it looks, but he looked good there. Isaiah Clark second, Deegan Hepp third, Preston Taylor fourth, and Carter Beast was fifth, with our man Grant Harlan wrecking out hard from the lead on the last lap, believe through the whoops. I mean, you just saw him just head down in it, and he just overdid it. Don't worry, he didn't do it the rest of the night, but good race there. 250 Pro Heat 2. Lance Bush was first, Cheyenne Harmon second, Michael Lessie third, Matthew Curler fourth, and Carter Gordon rounded out the top fifth. There we go. Open Pro Heat 1. Grant Harlan first, Isaiah Clark second, Deegan Hepp third, Preston Taylor fourth, and Michael Hicks was fifth. And then the Open Pro Heat 2, Lance Kobush again got first, Cheyenne Harmon second, Michael Leslie third, Carter Gordon fourth, and Brett Greenlee rounded out the top 5. Then we get to the LCQs, and those were only 4 laps, and they were running like 20-second laps or something like that. So not a lot of time. You can't afford to make one slip up in it, which made the racing even more exciting. But Grant Harlan got the win in that. Brett Greenlee was second. Wyatt Reiner was third, and Kenyon Moran was fourth. And then the Open Pro LCQ, Carter Beast was first, Matthew Curler was second, Austin Roberts third, and Thor Rick was fourth. And you guys also have to remember that, as you notice, you're seeing a lot of names, going between them all. They're running the same thing, just 2 different, things. So don't forget, they're all also there. So I thought they made it in that one. Yeah, but they didn't make it in that one. So keep that in mind when all the stuff is going. But then you get to the 250 Pro main event, 14 laps. Hicks, Michael, he was out there all by himself. Rex from the lead coming to the white flag all by himself. It wasn't really hard, but it was a dumb enough mistake. So that gave Lance Kobush first, Cheyenne Harmon second, and then Michael Hicks came in third. And then the Open Pro main event, Harlan and Leslie, they wrecked hard together at the beginning and just kind of rode around. So hopefully, as they rode around that long, I imagine they're okay. I haven't seen any updates again. Really, not the biggest thing. Don't have the best socials or anything, so it's hard to get news out of there. I mean, the website's not even really there, but hopefully they're all okay. But Michael Hicks turned around, he got the lead, got right away. After those two took each other, he happened to just get around them. They wrecked out behind him. And he went on to get the win easily. Lance Kobush was second, Cheyenne Harmon third. And then the Red Line Oil championship standings are as followed. Lance Kobush is first with 47 points, again, because Michael Hicks, finishing third and putting himself down from the lead in the first main. That hurt him. But Michael Hicks second with 45 points, and then Cheyenne Harmon is third with 42 points. And again, Michael Hicks might be a new team, new manufacturer, which he said ride the same, like so much new stuff. But if that's how he's starting out the campaign to try to get his 4th straight championship, it's not a bad way to do it. It's not a bad way to do it at all. I'm excited to see what they do the rest of it. Again, the thing that no one knows about them, because no one really gets to see it, is just they're just such tight tracks, such tight quarters that, that racing, when they're trying to get by each other and they're racing, there's no big areas to really do a lot, and that's why I like it. And it was super slick. It was much more slick than I remember it being last year in Topeka. But can't also forget the 7 to 11-year-olds in the Cometic Gasket Junior Moto Challenge. Darren Pine first by a chunk, even after a big error, like he was just gone. Brady Luke second, Brandon Higginbottom third, Talon McDonald fourth, Hunter Hale fifth, Caden Higginbottom sixth, and then Tate Davis finished 7th out of the 7. Again, we only got to see the highlights of that, but cool to see those little guys zipping around those little bikes. I'll give them that much. And great racing, again, through the field, especially with how tight the quarters are in these tracks. Super slick. Bunch of mistakes from guys that you wouldn't expect just because their name's in there where they normally run. But first race of the season, super slick track. Some people in new equipment, some of them trying new things out for the first time just because, again, not the biggest funded thing in the world. So we'll see how it continues through the season. If you haven't seen it, FS1, find it on there. Always tell you go through Auto Racing and Motorsports. If you have Hulu or anything, like you can have no matter what your DVR service, find it and set them all. And then you can find the things you like and keep them recording, and find things you don't like and turn them off. But I wouldn't have found if it wasn't for my DVR. Again, nothing on me, nothing on them. They're smaller. They don't have, the biggest socials and all of that. So it's not as easy for them to get stuff out there. But if production value says anything, then they can definitely, they get more on TV, and they I'd say they can get more into it again. New primary, new sponsor naming it, new all kinds of things presented by Geico. Like there's money in there coming in. It's just going to take a little bit to build, but again, production value through the roof. And if that's a sign, then I think they're heading in the right direction. That gets us the thing that I talked about on Friday and all weekend, shared it out everywhere. Again, listen to it if you haven't. Supercross Race 1 in Anaheim. It's great to see them back this season. And there's some really good, racing throughout out all of it, quite telling, and things that I thought were going to happen seemingly happened in there. But we'll say shout out before we get to that, Robin, getting their first LCQ win and the first ever main event for Cross. So again, nice to see people get the first LCQ wins and the first main events and all that, because there's guys that show up every race and don't ever get to do it. So to see them, win an LCQ or make a main event is really exciting. And then to the weekend news, the thing we still haven't heard is Austin Forkner went down hard, and like he has to be injured hard, for Alpine Star, if you want to pronounce it. I haven't seen an update on him yet, but he went down. Hannah saw his neck snap back while he was in midair. Thankfully, he was in midair, not slamming into the ground. That gives you a little bit more, hope and less impact on everything. And I do say they need to get better at that as a sport. Like, we can't watch that and then not know anything. Granted, I didn't even realize. I mean, so much has happened in my life. Stupid and crazy and all that. I didn't realize it's only been 2 days. But, still do better. Don't keep showing the replays without giving us anything. But whenever I find out, I'll let you know somehow. So be on the socials, Racing Rosinski on Twitter, and then Racing with Jesse Rosinski everywhere else except for on Instagram. And I post stuff on there that's just under Jesse Rosinski. It might even be the Jesse Rosinski show. I don't remember. I'm not quite sure. But when I find anything out, I'll definitely post it on there. It was a hard hit and definitely scary, whiplash on the neck and all that. So hopefully that works out okay. But like I thought, Jet Lawrence just went out there, dominated. McAdoo second, Hampshire was third. They're in their own zip codes, but Jet's got to dominate this year. Like, if that was any show, like, what did I say? If he stops wrecking himself, I said it all last year. He could be scary, and he got up there and just drove away. Plain simple, to the point. See you later, bide. The whole field, and it's going to be a long season for people if that's the case, man, after what he did back east. If he does that in the West, I mean, I don't see how he couldn't get a spot, in the 450s next year if he goes and does that again. And then that's going to be dangerous for people, because I don't think he's going to have a hard time figuring that out. Really don't. There'll be a little bit, here and there or overdo things, but the talent that he has and what he's doing, I don't think that'll make a snowflake's difference in anything. So congratulations to him. Glad I was right. And then 450s, we saw Eli Tomac wreck out of the lead with about 11 minutes to go in the main. Put Malcolm Stewart out in the lead, and Tomac dropped to fifth. Jason Anderson went down from the top 5 spot with about 9 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Eli Tomac up by Malcolm Stewart with about 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Got the lead with 2 minutes to go, and drove away by, I think, over 4 seconds. Over 4 seconds, in 2 minutes gone. And I think he came into it with an average finish of 10th in Anaheim, wrecking from the lead earlier on, falling back to 5th to win by over 4 seconds, and he only had the lead for 2 minutes, which is a hell of a run. And not retiring seemed to fit him well. If that's how he's starting out, I don't think he's going to slow down at all. I know he switched teams and did all that last year, and he seemed to find a groove, and it doesn't look like that groove is gone at all. So, congratulations to him. And finally, we do have an update. If you follow me, Racing Rosinski on Twitter and all that, I've been complaining since it happened when Malcolm Stewart went down hard after Tomac by him with about 2 minutes or so to go. Yeah, around the same time he got the lead, not anywhere near each other, but didn't look as bad as Austin Forkner, but it didn't look good. We didn't get an update. Finally, right before went live doing this, got an update. He's apparently fine, ready to go for Oakland this weekend. So good news, because he went down. He was slow, a little slow to get up and move, but glad he can get up and go again. Sucks that that's how the first race goes down, for him and Forkner, just going down, because, they're going to be taking a beating the whole entire season, taking falls. So it just sucks to see get big ones right away. But good racing, 250 results. Jet Lawrence first and leading the points, obviously. BJ Hampshire second and 3 points behind him. And then Cameron McAdoo is third, 5 points behind him. 450 results. Eli Tomac won, leading the points, obviously. Cooper Webb second, 3 points back. And then Chase Sexton is third at 5 points back. And Jason Anderson with that fall is seventh, but only 10 points back. And again, it can be made up, not the quickest thing, not the easiest thing, but all it takes is one bad race, and it could be right back in there. I was really excited to see what they got. Again, I was just going into it to see, what everyone could do, as it was first race of the season. Everyone's working on new things, doing different things. I know they have more money, so they're probably testing all those things out, but they're not up there with that many bikes on top of them while they're testing all that stuff out. So good racing, really exciting stuff. Looking forward to to Oakland the rest of the season, Daytona again. Then we got motocross and the super motocross, playoffs. Having a race over by the Charlotte Motor Speedway at the ZMAX Dragway. Never been, walked by it a bunch. That'd be pretty cool to get to go see the first time there. But exciting things this season. And again, Jet Thorns is doing that already. Good luck. Anyone that watched it know what he did last year. So good luck catching him, and glad to see that Malcolm Stewart's okay. Hopefully we get an update on Austin Forkner, because that was a hard hit, and it absolutely sucks to see that be the way that his season starts, and it was so early too. But thankfully, again, his neck snapped back, but it was in midair, so at least it wasn't on impact and it going back. So that would have been 1,000 times worse. Not a doctor, but I've done that a few times. So yeah, good weekend. And another shout out to General Tire, ArenaCross Outlaws, and the super, updated production value of Fox Sports FS1, all of that. Really way better looking than last year. And one more Supercross. If you're going to show it and you're going to post the stuff about the injuries, the least you could do is try to have updates every time you're going to show it. Granted, didn't realize it was only, it seems a lot longer than less than 48 hours later since I saw it, but at least try to be a little quicker at that again stuff. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget, please hit the share button. No matter what it is, it only takes a little bit and it helps get it growing and doing good things for me. YouTube, Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all of that. And I'll be back some shorts this week. And until Friday, deuces. I'm out.